Let's get some business news for you now. Kate Moody's with us in the studio. Hi there, Kate.
Hi, Laura.
We started with the Detroit Auto Show, a big event for car makers, of course. Donald Trump, the president-elect, casting a big shadow over the event, you might say.
Absolutely. His threats about imposing tariffs on cars that are produced outside of the US have put the industry somewhat on the defensive. Toyota, which was singled out last week on Trump's Twitter feed, has now announced that it will invest $10 billion in the US over the next 5 years, including a new headquarters in Texas. The Japanese firm said its decision was not specifically tied to Trump's criticism. The political stakes have threatened to overshadow the motor show itself, but there are still plenty of innovative designs on show. For more about all of these issues, we can speak to Jürgen Stackmann, head of sales and marketing at Volkswagen Passenger Cars. Thanks so much for joining us from the auto show in Detroit. Now, first, Volkswagen has been making headlines this Monday after the arrest of one of its top executives in the U.S., Oliver Schmidt, accused of participating in a cover-up of the cheating software that was installed in millions of cars worldwide. Your reaction to that latest news, please, Mr. Stackmann.
I can't really make any comments on this. We are closely collaborating with the authorities here in the United States and in the region, and this is actually a closed cooperation. So I can't really make any comments on this.
Does it potentially strike a blow to your company's efforts to move on from that emissions cheating scandal?
No, I think Volkswagen brand is here in Detroit to come to show with a strong launch of 3 vehicles that we're back in America. We are committing ourselves very much in our industrial network here in the country, and we're committing ourselves with 2 vehicle concepts, the new Atlas and the new Tiguan, to really come back here as a relevant brand for American households and American families. We are launching 2 SUVs in the heartland of the American market. This is an SUV market. America loves SUV concepts, and we are for the first time showing 2 bigger cars that make the brand much more relevant than ever before for the American household. And behind me you see our vision for the future in America. It's the 2nd edition of our ID concept car, ID Buzz, which combines electric mobility, which we will launch around the end of this decade, with space for 8 people, like a lounge atmosphere on the inside. It's fully connected, ready for autonomous drive, in the most American shape imaginable from the Volkswagen. It's a reference to our old microbus, which is still creating a lot of heartbeat and strong emotions here in America.
So plenty of new models on show there. From what you're hearing in Detroit, does the American public seem ready to trust and perhaps more importantly buy Volkswagen again?
We actually have had some tremendous insights during last year. If you look into the sales figures of last year, we basically have not lost our strength in our retail private car segment. We have had the same sales on the retail side as in the year 2015. Now with basically petrol engines only, we haven't really lost our relative strength in the market due to not selling diesels in the country. So we are really poised to come back. We are actually confident to be able to come back with 2 strong new entrants into the marketplace, which will only be the beginning of a launch initiative here in the United States for the Volkswagen brand. There's a lot more coming in the next 2 years. So we'll be in this country actually with car concepts that work in the country, that are relevant for the car buyer in America. But again, we are committing not ourselves on selling here, we are committing ourselves in producing in the country, creating jobs for America at the same time.
Now, one of the other issues that is hanging over this year's show is Donald Trump's threats to crack down on imported cars. How worried is Volkswagen about its future in the U.S., and what is it planning to do in order to combat those threats by the incoming president?
I don't want to comment basically on the specifics of his comments Twitter-wise, regarding this topic. I think we as Volkswagen brand are well positioned anyway. Our commitment is for the country. We have just invested €1 billion into our plant in Chattanooga to bring a 2nd car to Chattanooga. We are creating a strong hold of supplier base around Chattanooga, so we are creating jobs directly and indirectly. And this is only the beginning. So we are actually creating a lot of power and value here for the country as well actually as outside the country. Our life in Mexico, and we have a plant in Mexico, started in the early 50s, and we are actually a home brand of Mexico. We have the same market share in that country as in our home country in Europe, in our home region. So I think it's a balanced approach. We are committing to the region as well as massively actually to the United States with our operations and with a car program that we bring to market here.
Just one last question, Mr. Stackmann. You were talking about your electric concept car earlier on, but last year VW also said it wanted to develop self-driving technology faster than its rivals. When you look at the competition there in Detroit, do you think that can be achieved?
Yes, absolutely. The Volkswagen brand has committed itself to bring the combination of full electric sort of propulsion, so a car family that will never have a combustion engine, together with full connectivity and being ready for autonomous drive by the end of this decade. Basically we are exploring here the depth of ideas on that electric platform, and it shows how far we can go. In Europe we did show a rather compact car from the outside with the space of a Passat on the inside, and here in America a typical American concept, the base technology kit, space for 8, fantastic emotional design. So we're showing here that we're really committed to the future of electric mobility, connected mobility and autonomous drive.
Jürgen Stackmann of Volkswagen, thanks so much for speaking to France 24 from Detroit.